Yeah, the boys just asking there. I hope very much. First of all, performance. It'll be a real dampener to go there and not deliver a good performance and get the right result that they're after. So prepare well, deliver a strong performance at home. It's a packed Ibrox. The pitch looks magnificent. Hopefully the sun's shining. Go and play. Show the fans how good we can be. Get the result and then enjoy partying. I want the players to enjoy the celebration. I want the fans to enjoy it. I think it's a crowning moment, as in terms of a long league campaign. They've got the rewards. Enjoy Saturday, but then again, focus goes to Livingston.
What have you said though after last night in terms of Saturday now? Looking ahead, is it learn from the small errors that?
Yeah, you look at last night, and I've watched the game a couple of times now, watching it upstairs, and started the game really well, but we made 3 very, very basic errors. We haven't made them all season. And we made 2 in that 15-minute spell last night. So we've gone to Hibs, a very, very good team, and we've had 70% of the ball. So we've done really well, but we didn't penetrate enough. We lacked a little bit of guile in the final third, didn't get the shots away enough, as we have done recently. And as I say, we made some schoolboy errors. So we have to learn from it. It'd be foolish to say otherwise, but lots of positives as well, and the fact that physically we look really fit. Barry Mackay running back 93rd minute, Jason Holt 14k again, and they're Premier League numbers. So in terms of distance covered and physicality, we're in really good shape.
When you look at Alloa, they managed to get a draw last time, but different circumstances on their own pitch. Is this one game that you think, can you take it lightly, or
no.
Do you make changes? Is it a case of just full steam ahead?
I hope you know this by now, we're never going to take any game lightly. The Alloa game was bizarre. I think we had 27 chances and 23 corners, if I remember rightly the facts, there or thereabouts. And we should have been 4 up in the first 15 minutes, but we weren't. We didn't take our chances. Alloa worked hard, and they were really organised, so we know what we face on Saturday. And the fact they were relegated is irrelevant. They'll be well organised, well managed, focused and committed, so we've got to be the same. We've got to more than match that, and then hopefully show that we have the quality and possession to hurt them.
In terms of improvement, Mark, are you seeing that still, or is there a case now where changes have to be made for next season in terms of going the next step?
No, I think not to be anything private with the players, far from it. We spoke about the challenges this season and responding to the challenges and going up through the gears. And sometimes we've done well enough in second and third gear. I felt we played Dundee and went to the next level. We played Hibs over Christmas and went to the next level. And then last Sunday against Celtic, which is the biggest challenge for the players thus far, they stepped up magnificently well, and they deserved to win that game of football. That wasn't a fluke. They wasn't relying on penalties. Didn't hang on. They deserved to win that game of football. So they've moved up. We have to keep getting better. We have to, naturally. So the idea now is to go up a level and stay there. We can't have peaks and troughs. That was a comment last night. If you win the Scottish Cup, if you're in Europe, that becomes a norm. You can travel to Uzbekistan on a Thursday night, get back at the early hours of Friday morning, and have a big game on the Sunday against Aberdeen, for example. So I spoke to our friends at Spurs. They played away, got back Friday morning, 6 o'clock, went to bed, came in Saturday, flew to Villa, beat Villa 2-0. That's what we have to learn from and look at and say that's the level. So no, we have to keep getting better. The players will. We will add to it. Our recruitment between now and August the 6th is of vital importance. And we need to get that right.
You mentioned the Old Firm game there. When you see what happened, Ronnie Dyler's going at the end of the season, does this show you how cutthroat it can be in Scottish football and that fixture in particular?
I don't think for one second, you can tell me otherwise, I don't think for one second that one game was the cause of Ronnie leaving Celtic. I think I've seen what's happened over the last 6-10 months and the media comments and everything else. I don't think it would have helped him, obviously, but disappointed to see that. I already met him once, came across as a gentleman, very knowledgeable about football, liked talking to him. So I just said at the time, I said last week, I don't think anyone deserves some of the criticism that he's received from certain individuals. I think that's inappropriate.
There was a suggestion that the intense scrutiny has taken its toll over the last 2 years. Can you see where he's coming from in that sense?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can look at it. I've heard comments from previous managers, and the guys next door say, have you enjoyed this? Have I enjoyed this year? Yes, I have, very much. But you're on your guard. 24/7, you're on your guard. What you say, what you do, one wrong comment, it can be an off-the-cuff remark, and it comes back to bite you. So I understand what Ronnie's saying every day in the papers, 10, 12, 15, 18 pages, and You know, I went home last night, parked the car up, get some petrol, and got a derogatory comment, you know, from Rangers, and that was, hang on a second, but that's the nature. You know, Celtic could win a game 6-0 and you lose on a Tuesday night, and there's a derogatory comment. So get used to it, and but everyone's human. So you can turn around and say, Waterford Ducks back, but I think everyone's human, so I'm sure it can wear you down. But you have to just be on your guard and enjoy the experience. That's the important thing for me.
How do you deal with it though? You're saying enjoy it and it's Waterford Ducks back, but how do you actually deal with
I think
it?
you have to know it's coming. I think you have to say that's the norm, and any good comment is a bonus. That's how it has to be. The norm will be, I will get torrents of abuse, and then hopefully anything positive, I'll take it with open arms. If you do that, then hopefully you can get through it. And that is the way of it. One wrong comment, one misinterpretation, something taken out of context. What's different up here in Scotland is they ask you the question. You give an answer to the question, and then that's made as your statement. That's the difference. I think you have to learn. That's what I've learned in the last 10 months, and great help from Carol and the media guys. But you asked a question. You're not sitting here saying, I think this. You're simply responding. And Ronnie, I'm sure, has been equally as frustrated to be taken out of context so many times and inappropriately quoted, I think is difficult.
To take back to the football side of things, how are you planning on keeping your players fit between the gap of the end of the season and the Scottish Cup?
It's difficult. It's a good question. It's difficult. You can either get too much football if you're involved in the playoffs and run the risk of fatigue and injury, or you have too little football and you've got to find an answer. We'll play a game. We'll fly down south and play a Premier League team behind closed doors. We'll do that in between. We'll give the boys some time off, not too much, 3 or 4 days off, straight after St Mirren, which is good for them. They've worked really hard and you saw their fitness level. So important to get that right. 1 day too long can be inappropriate. 1 day too less can have same implications. So give them time off, go and play the game, and then the week leading up to the final will be as normal. Off Sunday, in Monday, Tuesday working, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So you're not planning on going away anywhere?
No, I don't want that. I think the boys' 21st final whistle, hopefully touch wood if all goes well, celebrations, then they're off. But they're back in 3.5 weeks later. All they've got is 3.5. We're back in here 18th of June. We travel overseas to the States 27th of June. You know, we're back in. It's a tough programme, so they've only got 3.5 weeks off. So it's really important that that's their holiday time. You got La Manga now, or you got fantastic places. But when I see people walking around in, you know, beach shorts and flip-flops, and I'm not sure that's the right environment.
The fact that you don't have the playoffs then and you're not going to have the travelling, does that alleviate the fear of having a burnout, so to speak?
No, not burnout. You saw last night. I think in watching the game last night, you saw Barry Mackay, you saw Jason Holt, you saw Andy Halliday, you saw all over the park. The players were fit. Despite the draining, physicality draining wise of Sunday, despite the emotional fatigue of Sunday, they were fit. They were fit, so I've got no problem there. And that's testament to them, absolutely, the players for all their hard work, but testament to the staff around it. The Craig Flanagans, the Dave Lavery's and Steve Walkers and all the boys around it, the coaching staff. So the team's working well together, that's good. What we have to do is keep improving it.
You mentioned Mackay a couple of times. You know, what do you see his future as being perhaps a kind of Rangers icon going forward?
I think Barry Mackay can get better and better. I've said it many, many times. David has said it. Barry's just turned 21. What you're seeing Sunday and last night is what we see every day in training. Technically gifted, athletically quick, strong, resilient, sees the picture. He sees it. So I think Barry Mackay can go and play at the highest level, go on to play at the highest level, hopefully the Rangers. I've got no doubt that Barry will continue to keep improving. Don't want a sudden spotlight on Barry Mackay. Want to go about his business as he's doing. He conducts himself really well, trains hard every day. Can't speak high enough about Barry Mackay.
You've spoken about what's going to happen over the next few weeks, but have you thought about, you know, potentially how you will approach the Premiership, and do you have a target in mind?
Yes. The obvious target is to go and win any competition you go into. That's the obvious, and every manager will say the same. There's no manager that's going to sit there and say, I hope to come 8th. That's not going to happen for us. To use Jim Stewart and David Weir's comments, second is last. But at the same time, we're very respectful. The reigning champions are Celtic. They look like they're going to win the league again. They have a very strong squad. They're going to invest again, and they've got European football behind them and all the experience and budgetary implications that come with that. So we're respectful of it, but we're not going to any league to survive. We're never going to go into a league or a cup competition to hopefully do okay. We want to go as best we can, as hard as we can, for as long as we can, and that will be the aim, absolutely.
You know, Robbie Nielsen always said kind of top 6 for Hearts. Would you be happy with any performance in the Premiership? Obviously aiming for the top, as you've said, but would you know, is there a kind of minimum you're aiming for?
Second is last. That's the truth of it. I'm not saying, please don't report this incorrectly. We understand the size of the task ahead. We understand in Aberdeen, excellent manager, you know, strong squad, European experience, battle hardened, so to speak, in the division. Robbie Nielsen's done a fantastic job at Hearts. I know Robbie, we took him on loan at Brentford, fantastic pro. That's been instilled throughout his team and had a fantastic season. And all the teams below, there's some great teams in the league. So we're not in any way unaware of the size of the task. We're not disrespecting anyone in any shape or form. But with Rangers and with the history of the club and the expectation of the club, we've got to go up and be as highly competitive as possible. Simple as that.
Is Martin Waghorn back this weekend?
Waggy is disappointed I gave the players a day off. He was due to come and join the squad today for training, so I got a torrent of abuse from Martin Waghorn, joking apart, but he's back, he's been training tomorrow. This weekend is probably too early for him. I'd like to think he's on the bench on Tuesday and available for selection for St Mirren.
Will Harry Forrester be available for the cup final? Or maybe?
I hope so. Depends on the healing process. So he has another X-ray in a few days coming up. If all is going well, then we'll have the benefits of Harry. If not, again, as with Waggy, never going to risk a player. Harry's got a long future at the club, I hope, and again, another player that will impress, I hope, going forward and adapt to the level and impress at the level. So what's right for Harry, but if to have those two available for the final would be a nice boost.
Any other ins and outs this weekend in terms of injuries and fitness?
No, not that I know of. A few whacks and bruises. We had a few whacks and bruises. Lee Wallace played through a painful ankle last night in terms of bruising. Which again shows the character of the captain. Jason Holt's got a bit of bruising, but no, it's just wear and tear of the season. But we're in good shape.
Cammy Bell, will he be back?
I hope so. Yeah, had a small inflammation on the knee. Again, don't forget we're going hard. The ground's suddenly a bit harder. So he had a small inflammation, but hopefully he'll be fine. And other than that, we're in okay shape.
Can we get your thoughts on the two boys that have been nominated for the Player of the Year?
The two players. Well, firstly, it could be a number of players. I think the squad have performed to that level. So I think it could be a number of players. But the two concerned, delighted for them. If you look at Lee, in terms of he assumed the role of captaincy, and it's a big ask for him. And as you remember at the time, we didn't give that lightly. And he's really adapted well. He's been a magnificent captain. On the pitch has been outstanding all season. His level of consistency has been first class. The impact he has off the pitch here and at Ibrox, first class. So delighted for Lee. He fully deserves any accolades he gets. And Martin Waghorn, we said about Martin needed to come and play games. So he's adapted to, all these players have adapted to the expectation. Martin's done exceptionally well. To score 28 goals in the period of time that he did do is outstanding. You know, so he thoroughly deserves it. Delighted for him. He was desperately disappointed with the injury, but his attitude in rehab has been first class. So delighted for the pair of them, but I'm sure the rest of the squad will give them their congratulations, but we know there's 4, 5, 6, 7 in the dressing room who could equally be named as well.